just really into dogging with other dads. Oh, my day is right. Here we go. We're going to play some golf. It's been a hot second since I've played this golf course. I know I've made videos, or videos have come out this year on this golf course, I think. Might be wrong. I don't think I've actually filmed on this golf course this year. So I'm going to play a few holes tonight with no real plan, like a loose idea of what I want to do, but no concrete plan. Not that it seems like these videos have a concrete plan. Anyway, but they do, like, loosely. That entire warm-up you've seen, that's literally all I've done, so I do not anticipate I'm gonna play very well here, but we'll see. Not a bad strike. It's maybe too much club set. Oh, set. That was too much club. Still, you live and learn. I'm going to try and use the channel as an incentive to actually play a bit more in the winter. This is probably the first video that I've played on a course in ages. Like, because of the weather, I've been doing some stuff on like swing speed and some stuff on practicing, which is all things that I typically will do in the winter, like practice, try to make swing changes. And one thing that I neglect typically is actually playing, for the reason, like, well, this is a winter green and it's just not representative of real golf, and I basically just lose interest. Don't lose interest in golf, but I lose interest in playing golf. I said once to the guy who I get golf psychology stuff off that I actually don't enjoy playing golf because I associate golf with that like horrible feeling that I get when I fail, but I associate hitting golf balls on a range and trying to improve that way. Like, I enjoy that. I don't necessarily enjoy actual golf, but I associate actually playing golf with embarrassment, fear, failure, resentment, all the fun guys. That's it, not bad. And the best thing about me filming stuff is it gives you the pressure of playing in a competition quite a lot, because I don't like re-film stuff, or just where the ball goes is where the ball goes. So it's good in that sense, and I want to try and use it as such. Right, so this would be I believe this would be for a par. This is definitely a par 3. Oh, ripped it. Oh, good God. Well, yeah, point. Case in point, really. It's a good start, I guess. Something I definitely struggle with, and I know probably a lot of people do, like the amateur level, is like you getting your game from the practice area onto the golf course, or I certainly know that I feel sometimes like the way I play doesn't represent how good I am. That sounds really arrogant. Slightly right. Scared a bird. There or thereabouts. So a lot of what I'm going to talk about in that sense is from the book, a really good book called The Practice Manual. I've made reference to it a number of times on this golf channel before. For me, as someone who spends their winters, spends their life trying to make changes to their golf swing, the place that I spend most of my time is in an internal process mindset, I guess. But I'll explain what I mean by that. So for me today, so what that might be, or what that certainly is for me, is, for example, that guy's boot's open. I can't believe he's not noticed that. Boot's open. The thought process that I've got today is from the top of the backswing, the first move for me is to try and shift my left butt cheek backwards to stop me jumping up. So that's a process, so that's an internal process whereby I'm thinking, on the golf course, I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm aiming at my target, and then I'm trying to achieve that. Wow, that ran on like hell. Jesus Christ. If you watch these videos regularly, you'll know that whenever I set up the camera at that angle, every single shot I always hit runs out of the shot. It's a weird tradition that we have. Makes me feel very good about my golf game. Bump, 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 bump. I thought the only way that you could get better was to have a perfect golf swing, hit perfect shots. And obviously now I know I've grown up, I've learned a bit more about the game. I know that that's not the case. One of the reasons I think I struggled in the past is because I spend a lot of my time there, a mistake that can be made would be because you often hear that you shouldn't have any technical thoughts on the golf course, or you shouldn't have swing thoughts. It's a narrative that you hear quite a lot. I personally don't agree with it, but it's a narrative you hear a lot. That can sometimes make people struggle because say you're practicing and you think like this and you hit good shots, and then you move to the golf course and you think, oh shit, I can't have any swing thoughts because Golf Digest Monthly bloody whatever the shit says I can't do that. So people maybe sometimes struggle with that because you're like, oh, if I can just concentrate on that, concentrate on getting my club there, I hit good shots, then you play a medal and you think, all right, I can't think like that, I've got to think about the shot I'm hitting, I've got to be focused on that. Then you play really bad and you wonder why, and it's like, well, maybe keeping your thought process where you're comfortable is a move, but like I say, there's other places. So there's internal thought process, which is, like I say, what I was talking about. There's external process. An external process would be trying to hit the ground here. So I'm just trying to make sure that I hit the ground after the ball. That's something I'm trying to achieve. Like, oh, that's disgusting. Good, I didn't touch anything. External outcome process would be what a lot of people do. That's when maybe most people do. It's like, oh, I'm trying to hit a little draw off that bunker. That's what I'm seeing. Nearly dropped that. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm trying to do. And then the other version would be like what's called transcendence, which is just where you don't think about anything. You're in the zone type stuff. Like, one of the things that possibly could help and has helped me on occasion is maybe practice or try and practice in one of these other areas, like an external process, and it might help. But yeah, so I realise I'm rambling a lot. Anyway, golf shot. Like I did it, I blocked the shit out of that iron. Oh, lovely, right behind the tree. Ace. Ace of base. Pushed the shit out of that last one. Yeah, see, this is where I struggle because I just feel like this. I find it very hard to give this any sort of focus because it's just winter greens and stuff. And you've seen like the putts I hit at first. I had like a 6-footer, kind of just dunted it along the bumpy middle of the fairway, and it like hits the lip and runs, and you're just like, oh yeah, sweet. And then you hit the second putt and it just misses, and you're like, nice. Ace. For me, I'm an internal process focus, but I'm gonna try and when I practice and concentrate on different areas, like mix it up, see how that hits, see if that helps. If you find that you're one of the purple, if you find that you're a purple, if you find you're one of these people who struggle to take their game from the range to the course, maybe just be aware of where your process focus is and think, is it in the same place when you're practicing and when you're hitting it well? See if it's in the same place all the time. Does it change? That sort of stuff. Right, a little 8-iron bump and run. Try and play a bit more like this is the middle of winter, because it is the middle of winter. Oh, it's gonna be the worst place possible. Hit the green, but possibly left myself the hardest putt possible on this green. Good. I'm trying to remind myself how I used to do these, because I would just chat a load of mental stuff when, I mean, not that, like when no one watched it. I know like it's obviously not pulling in massive numbers in terms of like golf YouTube channels. Not Rick Shields, Dick Shields. But I'm trying to remind myself how I used to do this, because you have to have a level of like fearlessness, because what you're saying is insane. This is one area that I honestly pay no attention to in the winter, because I've been doing my practice at home, start line stuff, so I know that my stroke is in decent shape. Or you can hole it. Oh, that would have been funny. You can't really give this much, like, doesn't mean anything. Even these ones, like you can totally miss these. Right, perfect. Ugh. Made a very slight change to the way I grip the putter. So obviously, previously I would have gripped the putter pretty standard, like a standard grip normally, and it's a really thin grip, like the thinnest you can get. I just prefer those. Actually, one Tiger Woods uses, but now I've started gripping it more level because of what it does to my shoulders. It puts my shoulders more level, and it just feels better. It feels nicer. It feels like I strike the middle of the putter more often. And I tested it at home on like start line stuff, and it was just way more accurate, way more efficient. If you watch these videos, you'll be aware that I'm pretty obsessed with golf, and if you watch them weekly, or I don't know, if you watch even this far, it's a fair chance that you're quite keen on golf as well, which is awesome. Like, you should definitely be keen on golf. It's fucking quality. Great game, but also it's the worst game ever. One of the things I want to do is make sure that I can no bullshit look at my game, where it is, where I struggle, where I'm really bad, and then from there work on that and just chip away at it. And obviously, with it being the start of the year and stuff, you quite often hear people talk about their goals. That's good in a way, but for me, you can't really control those. But for example, you can control, if I set a goal of I want to have 100 days in a row where I practice my putting for, Jesus Christ, walk through a fly. Like a group of flies, not one. And also the flying insect, not some man's Levi's. The goal might be 100 nights, I want to spend 10 minutes practicing my putting. And like those little and often type things, so much easier to control. Oh, bear with. I was debating about whether or not to say this, and I mean, I might edit it out, but these are my videos and I can say whatever I want, right? But a long time ago in these videos, I talked about how I played an Open, and it just so happened that the guy who I was drawn with on the tee was also a member at this golf club, and I said, I seen his bag tag, and I said, oh mate, you're a member at Ratho, I'm a member at Ratho. That's interesting, obviously. It's like random that went away however many miles away, and we ended up being members at the same club. And his response was, yeah, well, so are 700 other people. And my alarm bell in my head was like, oh great, I've got to spend the next 4 hours with a complete knob. Well, the reason I was quiet there was because said knob just walked past. I had to pretend that I didn't know him. LOL. Right. Just squared up the face and went straight left. So my goals this year, it's more for things that I know I can control and things I know I can achieve, as opposed to scores and things that you can't really have any impact on them. You don't really know what's going to happen. How nice is that clubhouse? Honestly, I say it every time, but it really is pretty cool building. I think everyone can agree, right? A massive part of being good at golf and scoring well at golf is being able to actually find your golf ball and finding it more often than not. So for me, an area that I really struggle with is literally just getting it in play off the tee. I'll put up some numbers for you, right? So I did a TrackMan combine scope test, I think it's called. Basically, you hit 3 balls to a variety of yardages and targets. So it's out of a possible 100. You get graded for each shot, and my average across the board was like 75 point something or 74 point something like that. Can't quite remember. But when it came to driver, my average was 30. Like I averaged 30 points because I hit, I think, 6 drivers, and I literally couldn't keep any of them on the planet. It's just something that I really, really struggle with. Like massively struggle with. Anyway, this is a really difficult golf shot. 75 yards. Oh, get down. Oh, get down. Maybe held the back edge-ish. 75-yard bunker shot. Not the, oh, you can rake bunkers now, can't you? COVID's fucked off. Remember COVID, everybody? Remember when COVID was the world's problem? Remember when COVID was the issue we had? Not the imminent threat of nuclear war. I feel like I really glossed over the main point I wanted to make, so that's actually okay, considering that was quite a difficult golf shot. Yeah, my point was that you can quite often spend all your time in one area and then abandon it on the golf course and then struggle, and that's maybe not necessarily what you need to do. I think a lot of people do have swing thoughts. Maybe that's internal, external. I think the idea of just thinking that you can go to a different thought process area, if that makes sense, without having practiced it. You think that you can just spend all your time practicing, thinking about the way that your arms move, and then think about external results and do well without having ever practiced that before, I think is a bit like silly. I mean, you might be able to concentrate on processes and then concentrate on outcomes, but you probably should need to spend a bit of time thinking about it. I'm rambling, I realise that. So yeah, let's try this newfangled putter grip, shall we? That needs hit, that just needed hit. It was going to turn. Oh, maybe not, stayed straight. I know I say this a lot, but I appreciate people that watch these videos. It's really nice to think that you're willing to spend time, the most valuable commodity, listening to me talk shite. And if you get any enjoyment out of it, even better. So this is a tee shot, particularly from this tee, that I absolutely hate because my shape is like you're tight along the right hand tree line and the hole moves from left to right, and my shape is a draw. My Severus Snape is a draw. So for me, this is just horrible. And they've, like, this would probably be an unpopular opinion, but they've kind of ruined this hole. Not ruined, ruins a bit of an exaggeration, but there used to be a fairway bunker on the corner, which made it so much more difficult, and it was removed. I don't really know why. I think it's a bit of a silly thing to remove, but that's me. Anyway, who cares, right? So again, I'm just going to try and block the life at this, see what happens. So setting up over it for a neutral-ish shot down the left hand side and just try and slice it. Keep a rhythm, but slice it. It's just like a soft draw pull thing. Doing the club speed, ball speed stuff. So I got a new personal best. Currently my personal best is 177, I think, mile an hour ball speed, which is, it's all right, it's reasonably high. I'm gonna try and push for 180 this week. And then once I get a few over 180, I'll go back and see Scott and see if I can then push for whatever, 185. But yeah, I was saying to my mate the other day, like I was playing with him, and he's a decent golfer. He's off like 9 or 8, 175 yards. I was saying to him, when he was trying to take on this like ridiculously difficult shot, thing to think is just, can I do this 9 out of 10 times? And if the answer is no, then don't play the shot. Here I've got an option of going for like a bullet under here, or a higher shot with a fade. A higher shot with a fade's probably easier, but because we're just having a bit of banter, eh? I'll try and play the Sting Boy, because it's just more fun. Get it back in the stance, pretty much off the right foot. Club head ahead, down the shaft, strengthen the grip, weight on the left hand side, and then swing slow, because speed equals height. I hooked it because it's left, maybe in the bunker at the left, but it went low. So I almost killed my dog, not intentionally obviously. So just before Christmas, I think maybe like the 14th or 15th of December, my dog started being sick in the mornings. On Friday in particular, he was sick like 2 or 3 times, which is like so weird. I mean, dogs are sick and stuff, but anyway, long story short, yeah, so he was sick. I took him to the vet, and the vet said, nothing to worry about. He's probably just licked something, sniffed something dodgy. Dogs are sick, this happens. On you go. Give me 110 pounds, and here's some like hypoallergenic dog food shit. So I was like, all right, cheers. As I'm talking to you, I'm eyeing up this like death chip. Open the face up a bit more aggressive because the face is open, and just keep that. I mean, it was okay, it's pretty poor. It's like an okay picked up, but because I wasn't anywhere near aggressive enough, it landed short and then caught the majority of that hill and then rolled away. That was pish. Right, this ball is dirty as shit. Come on, buddy. Be a good one at home. Oh, called it. To finish telling you about my dog, the next day he didn't eat again, he started being sick again. So I was like, okay, back to the vet. Different vet seen him, and they examined him, and when they examine dogs, they, like, I guess they feel their tummies or whatever, I don't know. Tummy, what little cute word. Tummy. They investigated his tummy and then they were like, oh, I think I can feel something. This different vets, I think I can feel something. We want to do x-rays. I was like, yeah, whatever. Do whatever, I don't care. Just literally throwing money at the problem. Just make him okay. They said, they were like, oh, we reckon we see something in his stomach. She initially said she thought it was a sock. So I was like, fuck, how's he eating a sock? Jesus Christ, blah, blah, blah. They found this, a marinating brush. We'll do some Pulp Fiction, Quentin Tarantino time traveling. Cut to the second night I got this dog, and I'm panicking that I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know how I'm gonna cope. I had like PTSD with getting him, and I was marinating some food, and I thought, oh, a good idea would be to like let him lick some honey, and he bit the brush. He bit it off, and I was like, fuck! Tried to get the brush out his mouth, no good. And he's just standing there like smiling, wagging his tail. I'm like, okay, well, he's a big dog and it's a small brush, maybe it'll be okay. And then he was fine for 7 months. And then, yeah, had to pay like just over $2 for an operation. He's fine, but basically I'm a really bad dog dad. Dog dad, that sounds like a really shitty superhero. Just really into dogging with other dads. Big slice. At least it's sliced. Oh, get down. It's like just on the tee, not out of bounds. My God, I find it hard to hit a driver. Today was just coming out and trying to put my focus on different processes and see what works. So I've got the internal process focus that I'm doing on my golf swing, where I'm just trying to think about moving my hip. And then I've got the external outcome focus, trying to play a big fade. Because this is on camera, I'm gonna hit this off a mat because I don't know what the rule is currently about hitting shots off tees. 44 yards, try and land it just short and have it kick on a little bit. It's gonna run. No, it's not. I'm not even I'm gonna be positive, just positiveness. Yes, there's sand and mud and everything, but it's also 27th of February, so these things are fine. Ah, you hold a good putt at the last. Come on, positive. Try and hold this. No. No. So, right, I'll do the ending here. So thank you very much for watching. If you've managed to make it this far, I appreciate it massively. And yeah, if you want, let's have conversations. Get into the comments and tell me, when you're playing your best golf, where's your thought process? Are you a guy who thinks about drawing it and fading it? Are you a guy who thinks about something in here, like where your arms go, like when you're playing well? What do you think about? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about this, man. Let's talk about this. Let's everybody make everybody better. It'll all be fine. I am done. I'm done here now. I'm done.